This is Marketing of Today. I'm Cesar. Let's go. What is up? What is up, Anthony? How you doing, my brother?
Doing pretty good, man. Feeling good. How you doing?
I'm good. And thank you so much for being in the podcast today. It's an honor to have you. We met a little while back. You and I did an event.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, and from there, I think you invited me to go over to Ohio.
Yep. Good old Midwest.
And then from there, we just created a small, very cool relationship. Yeah. And like little by little, we got to know each other. And now we're doing a podcast together.
Yeah, this is exciting, man. Appreciate your platform too, man. I see you have some pretty good attendees on here on the podcast. So.
You've listened to a couple of the episodes?
Oh, yes, sir.
Awesome. So everybody, let me give you a little background on what Anthony does, right? Anthony does group home mastering. Mm-hmm. Well, that's the course.
Yep, that's the course.
But you do you do group homes in Ohio,
correct?
New Jersey,
yep.
PA,
yep.
Where else?
Detroit, and we expanding over to Texas and Georgia and Florida.
Huh?
Texas, Georgia, and Florida.
How are you gonna break yourself into like 8 pieces, bro?
Yeah, so it's all about having a good team. It's a solid team. Before I go into a market, I look at the market trend, see how the market is doing. Is it hard to find staff? It's a staffing shortage everywhere.
Okay,
but the power of incentives, you're able to retain staff and get staff. So I look at that. I look at the salary, in the area and see how much income that a potential asset can bring in. And then that allows me to know how much I need to pay out. I look at contractors. I look at if the actual area is on an incline or a decline, or is it flatlining? People moving in, moving out, things of that nature. So it usually takes me a few months. I build up a good team first before I buy something in the market.
Right. So how many times have you been to Texas now before, like you haven't purchased something yet? Or
I haven't purchased anything in those 3 markets, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. Not yet. Still researching the markets. I am looking at a 175 bed facility in Texas, and I'm still learning more about the market. I actually have a scheduled call with the contractor this weekend.
Oh, and nice.
Then, we can take it from there. I'm building rapport with people, see who I can have as an operator or a possible management company, or just good people that I want to have in the team. Okay,
so if you were to put it on numbers, right? How long does it take you to invest and investigate? I like those 2 words, invest and investigate a good market to bring, your skills to.
Okay. You say, how long does it take? I mean, essentially you can really be up and running. And if you want to be on more of the aggressive side, if you have time to actually travel and fly and things like that, I would say about a good 60 to 90 days to really feel like, I build up a solid team, going out there to meet them. I just take a little bit longer because I talk to a lot more people to see who's truly a good fit for me. And then I like to have backups.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. Because what I'm thinking is, what I saw, bro, when I went to Ohio, and I know that I just went in like that. What I saw when I went to Ohio was, it was amazing. And I'm being 100% honest with you. It was amazing how you have that thing tied down.
I appreciate
You know everybody's name. Yeah. You work, everybody, Anthony, what's up? How you doing? Everybody's happy. Yep. Usually when you're not that kind of a cool dude, when you get to the spot, everybody goes like...
Yeah, everybody hides from you.
Everybody hides. But with you, I got that experience of like, oh, no. Yep. Anthony's here. Yep. He's being part... he helps me. And then also there were conversations that I was part of that I saw that they were like, Anthony, listen, can you do this for me? And you're like, yeah, that sounds reasonable. Of course, we'll make it happen. Yeah. But how do you get to that? Because I know a lot of business owners. Right. And we'll dive into a little more about, what group home is and how that works. But first, how as a business owner, you take care of people? Is that something you're born with? Do you learn that? How does that come from factory?
That's a good question. I think it really comes from, I think I have a natural gift of, I'm just truly interested in people, and I think for me, it just comes across across as natural. So a lot of people are receptive to that, and they feel like, okay, I can relate to this dude. You know, he's not putting up a show or anything like that. So I'm the same way, man. You know, don't matter how big or small I am or anything, I treat everybody with respect, no matter if you came from the street, if you was homeless, to you staying in the group home or sober house or whatever the case may be. I treat everybody with respect. You know, just respect me, I respect you, you know, and vice versa. But I just think it takes, you know, you need to be a people's person, you know.
To do this business.
To do this business, absolutely. You know, it's not all about the money. Yes, you make some phenomenal money, but that's just a byproduct. You know, you got to take care of the people first, and then the money will follow along, because they see a lot of referrals.
Yeah, we were talking about that before we went live here on the podcast. How a lot of people want to get into this business because money looks nice. You know, they hear the percentages, they hear that 60, that 50%, that 40%, it sounds attractive.
Right.
But besides this being a real estate business, is a people's business, right? And you taught me that day over there in Ohio. Yeah. And it was like, I understood, and I think we discussed it at that time. I told you, like, this is not, even though we have real estate involved, this is not a real estate play. Yeah. So with your years of experience, what can you tell someone outside, like, that is looking into group homes? Like, I know that you also do mentorship. Right. I don't know how you do it. We were also talking about this before we started. I don't know how you do it, but I need to get into whoever taught you how to plan your day. But you also give mentorships about this. What is something that you always get with people when they're talking about how to get in, like, and they don't understand the language and the style? Is that the right word to say? You understand what I'm saying? I understand.
So first thing I tell anyone, I always say, write down your goals first, and then kind of reverse engineer it, right? And then from there, get a good mentor that you can learn from, that you can relate to, because there's a lot of mentors out there that's doing their thing, but can you relate to them? You know, and I think I can be more of a relatable person towards a lot of people. So I would say that's number one. Get a good mentor that can show you the ropes so you can avoid those pitfalls. And I always say too, my motto is, you cut a check to go fast in life. You know, you want to learn something, you had the money, okay, great. You know, you paid a person whatever
for the experience.
For the experience, absolutely. Because ultimately, if you make a lot of mistakes, you're going to pay a whole lot more than you would to a mentor.
Exactly.
You know,
so. And I know that now that you're talking about mentors, even you still do mentorships. You take time out to speak to your mentors, and you go to seminars. You went to the Atlanta one the other day.
Yes.
Right? What's it called?
You talk about the Forbes event?
Was it Forbes event?
I'm sorry, man. This month I went to, like,
I know you've been to a lot, but I'm saying the one in Atlanta, Georgia, that was
for InvestFest.
InvestFest. Yes,
that was an amazing event.
I know. I saw the videos and all the after stuff.
Yep.
So why is it that you go to so many mentors and get so much, like, you know, talk one-on-ones?
Absolutely, because I feel like it's not just about real estate. You know, you get mentors all throughout your whole life. You know, it could be your mom, your dad. Maybe it's something that you learned from somebody that you can look up to them, that they are phenomenal at, and they exceed at, and you can learn from them. So that's a mentor. So I feel like, you know, it's different aspects of life, whether it's finances, spiritual, mental health, you know, just anything really, whether you want to get in shape, that's another one. And it's mentors for everything. So I go to a lot of different conferences to see who I can relate to, see how I can add value to them first, and then we can work together, and then see if we're a good fit. And then from there, you know, if they require some sort of payment, whatever the case may be, hey, it is what it is. You know, you got to definitely do what you got to do to make it happen.
You got to pay to play. You got to pay
Absolutely.
to play. You got to pay to play.
In the, you know, as you get bigger, you get in certain rooms, you got to pay to play.
And that's another thing. Thank you. And now you brought a perfect point, right? Yeah. Some people, and I've been seeing more people are getting used to it, and they're doing it. They're paying to be in the rooms, right?
Yeah.
But something I have learned now that I have 3 years in my business is if I want to see Gary Vee, it's possible.
Right.
It's just you got to pay to be in the same room he's at.
Absolutely.
Or create the connections, which is harder.
Yep.
Because it's a lot of work.
Yep.
It's not easy.
Right.
And everybody wants to get that quick buck. Nobody wants to put the work.
Yep.
But you gotta, in order for you to be in rooms that are influential in any type of business, would it be real estate? Would it be let's say empanada business, whatever. Yeah. If you want to talk to McDonald's, you have to be in the same room McDonald's is.
Absolutely.
But that's the only way you get there, and they are very, very close-knit rooms.
Absolutely.
And that's the value that you have of the of going into those seminars, and that's why you do yours. What have you cut? My editor, I'm telling him to cut right now because bam. Vende absolutely, vuelve para mí, y después, here we go. Bam. He's going to come from absolutely, come to me. I'm trying to figure out the question to you about the people you teach.
Okay.
What's the feedback that you keep getting from the people that you teach and that you're helping them start their own careers in the group home and the real estate business?
Okay, so the feedback I get from them is, number one, they didn't even know something like this was possible. Mm-hmm. From a real estate play to a business play, and just putting them both together and merging them, and helping people. They didn't even think this was possible because this is not a part of the real estate industry that people talk about. Mm-hmm. So I think that's pretty cool. But then another thing that I get too is funding, right? Mm-hmm. Like, how can I go out, I'm working a job. How can I make this happen? But I always tell people it's different ways to make it happen. You just got to learn how to get creative. Yeah. Because just like McDonald's, as you mentioned before, or anything else, getting certain rooms, McDonald's or excluding McDonald's, they do a lot of real estate stuff. But like Wendy's and Burger King and all this other stuff, they lease.
Yeah. And those are, what's the name of those lease?
Triple net lease.
Triple net lease.
Yeah.
Which means that they're paying you and they're in charge of the property.
Absolutely.
You don't have to clean. Yep. You don't have to take out the trash. Yep. You don't have to do nothing. You don't have to do anything. You just own the perfect lot, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely. So, it's the same thing with the group home business, man. If you low on capital, I tell people there's nothing wrong with leasing. You can start off doing a lease, then you could do a lease with an option to buy, right? Or you could do a seller finance deal where you could put a little down. And in the Midwest, they do a lot of land contracts. So a land contract is just essentially you putting the money down, but the deed is going to be held in escrow. And then when you pay it off, you get the deed at the very end. That's essentially what a land contract.
Same thing you would do with a car.
Thing. Yeah, exactly. So, I tell people different ways. You just got to get that right mentor.
And exactly. So that's how you learn all these different plays you can use. And when you're assessing a potential investment that you're going to do, you basically see, okay, this fits into this criteria. Mm-hmm. Let me see how I can pull this play. But that's just years and years of knowledge.
Right. Absolutely. And then too, like I tell people that come in, one person that came to mind that actually opened up my eyes to the shared living space in general was just, my uncle, because he's been doing a lot of shared living, but he didn't do group homes and all this other stuff. Honestly, bro, going back a couple years, I just stumbled into it and started doing a lot of research. Luckily, I always tell people it was trial and error, but not a lot of error. So on my end, which is a blessing. So then from there, I just started figuring out how to do it. And I just think too, from the grace of God, it just kind of comes to me and I understand it. So, and then I get along with a lot of people that need placement. I get along with caseworkers, staff workers, things like that. So it kind of works out.
Yeah, that's amazing. But it also, I want to get into the part of like, you've been doing this for, how many years again?
Going on 7 years.
7 years. Yeah. I had it in my mind. Yeah, I just for a second blanked. But you didn't start here. You started here in Jersey. Yep. And even before that, you have a military background as well. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you for your service.
I appreciate that.
Yes, and from there you came back to. Do you went to college after, or how was it?
Honestly,
give me a little bit of story about your life. If some people want to hear, they want to know a little bit about you.
Absolutely. So I honestly tried college. It just wasn't for me. I did 2 semesters. Grades was actually very good. And I was always pretty good in school. Had A's and B's, but it just wasn't for me. Okay. So I said, you know what? And I served in the Guard. So I was still working. I was in the military, but I was still doing some law enforcement stuff. Wasn't my fulfillment. So I said I wanted to do something a little bit different. And then that's what led me to my uncle. Right? I seen he had shared living properties and things like that. And I was like, man, how are you doing this? Then he kind of told me about it, but he wasn't the kind of uncle that's like, I'm going to hold your hand to success and watch you do it. It was like, man, I'm going to tell you, nephew, you go figure it out. So it was kind of like that.
I'm gonna give you a little intro.
Yep.
You're gonna get a little bit.
Yep.
If you're really interested, go hustle for it.
Exactly. So, it was a lot of hustle in that. But yeah, man, born in Newark, New Jersey, and I just wanted to make a change. And I always tell people in podcasts and different things like that, it literally started off because I was on 280, going to a light, and I just started talking to the guy. So he was a homeless veteran. And I said, man, and I think I spoke to him for like a minute or two. And he served in Iraq and Afghanistan. I will never forget that. And then from there, I was like, how can I make that what my uncle told me about shared living and make that into a business model? So that's when I was still working. I bought my first property, used an FHA. I took the basement and I shared out the top.
Oh, wow.
Yep, shared out the top.
Here in Jersey.
Yep, correct.
Okay,
correct.
So do you still have that one?
No, I sold it. I sold it like 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But from there, you continue growing
Absolutely.
into everything else that you have right now.
Absolutely. Then that next property, as we talked about in the beginning of the podcast, it was a lease because I was still saving up my money from the first property and the income was great. So I saved up that, convinced the next landlord, said, listen, this is what I could do. It's my business model. Then at the time, congregate living, that's just essentially what a group home is. Congregate living, mental health, maybe you want to change it into a sober house, things of that nature. And then he loved the business idea. He told me a ridiculous price for the lease. I didn't think I could pull it off, but it happened because I got creative. Dropped some walls. I put couples in every room, and I Airbnb'd the basement.
Oh, wait, what?
Yep. That deal was pretty good until the landlord kind of got a little bit more greedy, and we had to part it.
You just basically cancel out the lease and kept going your way,
Yeah,
but
the good thing
it proved
is
the concept.
Absolutely, and the good thing is I talked to him about. Good thing I did that in the beginning, a month-to-month lease, just to see if he wanted to see if it was okay for him and me to see if he was a good fit for my business model.
Okay.
So it's like I like to interview people too, just to make sure.
Yeah, because in here, like we were talking about, this is a people business.
Absolutely.
And you're dealing with people and trying to help people have their homes, build their foundations.
Yep.
Also get people back on their feet.
Absolutely.
Which is something, it's a point that I would like you to bring. Like,
yep.
When people come into when we were talking about people
yep.
at the beginning, we were also bringing up the fact that you're showing love.
Yeah.
In a way to everybody.
Absolutely.
You're making sure they feel good. You're making sure that their needs are met, that they're living comfortably.
Yeah.
So how is that process, and how has that, how you've seen different stories?
Yes.
You've seen everything on the book. I can imagine.
Yeah.
How has that changed your perspective of the business?
That's a good question, man. I went deep. That's a good question. I would say love what you do, but don't fall into everyone's story.
Oh, wow.
The reason why I say that too, because if you get too emotional, you got to still think as a business owner as well. If you let it overcome you, you may not be successful. So, and people understand that too. Yeah, so people understand that, and they feel like, yeah, he relates to me, but he still has to run a business as well. So I always keep that in mind. I listen to everyone's story, and I commend them for taking a step up to making sure they change within their life too. And always remember too, I always tell people, you can't help the whole world.
Yeah.
People have to help themselves first. So, if you're trying to help people and they don't want the necessary help, they're still doing, things for
the wrong
drug addiction, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't help them. They got to help themselves first. But always remember to, follow through, let them know, like, hey, this is who I am, this is my position, and they know their position, and then it kind of works out in the long run.
So I see what you're saying. You're basically essentially saying is like, we make sure that all they need to succeed is there.
Yes.
Now, if they don't want to succeed, there's nothing else you could do.
Correct.
Because when I was there, I remember one of the houses that one of the unit. How many beds was that one? The brick one with the house on the side?
Oh, the sober house?
Yeah, the sober house.
Oh, that's 115 beds.
So that was the property he brought me to. Just go do a video real quick. So on that property, I remember how all the walls had this, like, the sober rules,
the
right?
rules, yeah.
And it was shocking to me because, as a guy who hasn't had any addictions,
yes,
more more than depression from one time.
Yeah.
I talked about this in episode 10. If you want to go hear it, go down there. By the way, real quick. Sorry, Anthony. Real quick. Don't forget to like this content, because if you like it, more people get to watch it. Also, comment below. Let us know what you think. Ask Anthony a question. Let us know if everything was cool. Back to this. Okay. So when I went to the group home, I remember that all the rules were there. And then everybody, they're supposed to recite it, repeat it. And they also have like this meetings.
Yeah.
What's it called? The meetings that they have?
AA meetings.
The AA meetings. Yeah. You supply that. And you also I remember that you told them as well, if there's anything else that they need to help them in their path, that you're more than happy and able to do it.
Absolutely.
So I see you doing great things, and I see you moving in a great direction. The reason I bring that up is because you're doing right now. Yeah. You're working on the fund.
Yes.
Last week.
Yes. Absolutely.
Last week we did the live event where we streamed for the first time. People, we're streaming now, so we can stream things. So where we streamed the whole event, and as well, you have people there supporting you. How was that, and how do you feel now coming all this way 7 years later?
Man, it feels amazing. It really do, just to see so much people believe in you. And I always tell people it wouldn't be no me if it wasn't them. So I truly appreciate everybody that came out to support. Stay tuned for the next ones to come, because I plan on doing what I learned from my journey, different mentors, and teaching around the world. So that experience alone is a blessing. Yeah.
And also, I know that you have the mentorship program that you provide. Yeah, a lot of those are your supporters. They were there, right?
So some people was there. You had some people that was just interested in the fund. Just a kind of a variety of people that I met from different conferences, so it was just a blessing.
Yes. So give us now just a quick preview of what the event is, what was it, and how other people come in and work with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the event was just how to invest passively in real estate, because some people, I realized over time that, from me just doing what I did with just joint ventures and things like that, it's a lot of people that want to get in the game, that's a business owner, or they make a nice income at a regular job, but they just need that extra push, and they don't know who they can turn to. So they turn to somebody that they like, know, and trust. Or if they don't know you, it's an introduction. They get to know you, build rapport, and things like that. And then they just want to invest, They don't want to do anything in real estate. They like the idea, but they prefer you to do everything. And then they just get a return.
Okay. And is it because they're busy in their own industry? Some people, a cool thing and something that I have learned is, if let's say I'm doing my video business, right? Yeah. We're doing the events, we're doing all this stuff. I have a big production company. This is what I'm focused on. Yep. I'm just putting cash away because luckily we worked hard enough that now we're positive income, right? We get to put money away. Absolutely. You just don't want money sitting down. Right. Nobody wants money sitting down. Money has to be working all the time. Absolutely. The richest people in the world don't have money in their bank account. All their money is invested somewhere. Yep. Absolutely. They live on the credit cards because they have the money working and making more percentage. So when we talk about the event and people investing, that's why you come in, because you could help them with that, and they can stay focused in their business. They don't have the time to come basically and let me put my group home, because that's a lot of work. Absolutely. So a lot of people they come with that. They like the idea of commercial real estate, flipping properties, group homes. They like the whole idea, but they just need that extra help. Yeah, and they get a good return because to your point, you gotta either meet or beat inflation, and at this point, you gotta beat inflation. Beat it, yeah. So definitely. You can't just keep your money in the bank because it's not making anything. Nope, it's losing. When the fund helps a lot of people, I'm just blessed to even start up the fund to help people in that opportunity. That's a tough process. That's a tough process too, to start a fund, bro. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's definitely regulated. And that gives you another point. Yep. Another plus to the whole situation, because it basically tells everybody who's going to invest with you, listen, I had to get approved for this. Absolutely. I had to pass. Absolutely. Nobody can do this. Yeah, and the good thing about that, you can look up someone's accreditation through the SEC.gov website, and it lets you know about their fund, where they filed that and things like that.
So, just to make sure that you actually are investing in a fund.
Exactly.
Not just someone saying, I have a fund.
Yeah, because you get a lot of that, and especially in our different type of communities.
Yep.
I don't understand why. We always talk about not being able to build, not being able to do a lot of things, but we're the first ones that are damaging our own communities. And if I'm proud, bro, and a quick round of applause because you're doing the right thing.
Yep.
You're building for the future. Yep. Again, I don't know how you do it with your schedule.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I don't know how you're able to do that, but it's great what you're doing.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that, man. I think it comes down to organization, like you said. You try to be as much organized as you can.
But how do you do it, bro? I can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Google Calendar has been working me wonders. So
I use Calendly. So I had a
Calendly
problem.
is good too.
I had a problem with scheduling customers, right? Because it was like, I don't know if I'm available. I'll let you know in 5 minutes.
Yep.
I'll forget the text. I'll answer 5 hours later. Now I'm busy. They need an answer. So I said, you know what? Set up a platform that is linked to my calendar on my phone. If I put that I'm busy during that time, nobody can book me.
Yep.
So that has helped.
Yes, absolutely.
But now the editing, the calls, this, how do you handle all this situation? Because I know that you don't only have 115 beds. You have a lot more beds.
Right.
So how do you handle all these calls and everything?
So the calls, I tell people I like to work. Essentially, when you first do group homes and everything, you may work or want to work in the business just to see how it operates. And then you work on the business. So my thing is I like to work on the business. And what that means is I hire managers, property managers, operators to handle it. Or if it's a sober home, they usually call it like house fathers or living house managers. Okay. And then I have them take the calls. And if something needs to be done, maybe, a bird nest on a roof or something like that, and it's a leak now, they call me. I come out. Well, I don't physically come out. I send somebody there to go fix it. Okay. So I kind of do like layers and filter that out. And then the day-to-day stuff, I just put it on my calendar and I color coordinate it from different things I need to do. If I take a call while I'm in the midst of what I have down on my calendar, I tell that person I'll call them right back, and then I follow back up. And then if it's not right away, at least they know that I was busy at the moment. And then, you can kind of take it from there. But I just kind of screen it out by having different layers.
And then, I know you have a big team. You have a lot of people under you.
Yeah. 17 staff, man.
That's just to manage everything.
Yep.
How do you do it? How can you manage people? Yep. And how are you able to build this team that you have today?
So the most powerful thing I heard from my mentor was incentives, that one word. And from the very beginning, when you first start in anything, you're working in the business. That's anything. Mm-hmm. And after a while, you start noticing how can you not only hire but retain people to the best way that you can. And it's incentives. So you offer something very competitive that someone else is not offering. Mm-hmm. And from there, you kind of merge them together, and then you get people that want to grow with you. Okay. So that's kind of how I do that. And then the operator itself, kind of oversee that. And then they let me know what need to be done, and then we make it happen.
Well, see, I don't know who I was talking to. I don't think it was you. But I was having a conversation about this the other day where it was like how big companies work, right?
Right.
Yesterday. When the problem gets to the boss, it's a big problem.
Absolutely.
It's like, let's just put a company, let's stay in McDonald's. We've been talking about McDonald's. When the problem gets to headquarters, that problem is that, this people's about to work out. Yeah. Like, this seller or whoever they have or franchisees about to quit, whatever. Yep. And then he's like, the CEO's calling. Hey, listen. Yeah. Don't leave. We're going to work with you. Mm-hmm. What can I do to make it good? Yep. I'll be able to fix it. Yeah. So there's so much layers. Yeah. That's why managers get hired, then supervisors get hired, and then the workers get hired. Yep. And it's because it allows us as business owners to have more control, more creative thinking. Yep. The time to think about the next move that we're gonna make. Absolutely. Because if you're in the trenches every day just dealing with the regular stuff,
it's hard to grow.
Yep. So everybody takes care of all the situations, and then but what also allows it is by the time it gets to you, is a big problem.
Yep, absolutely.
So how do you? Is that how you're thinking of continue building? Because if you're thinking about building in 7 states,
yeah, 7 states. I mean, eventually, I want to go nationwide, depending on certain areas. Depending on certain areas.
But if you're gonna do that, you're gonna need a lot of people around you,
right,
to help you go that far, right?
Absolutely. And you know, for me, I remember in the very beginning, I just thought New Jersey.
Okay.
But I start to realize when you want to go to another state, you have to have systems.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you're in that state, you still got to have systems for New Jersey.
Exactly.
So I like to think about it like that. Just because I'm in New Jersey, I still need to have systems in New Jersey. So that's how I kind of think about it. And then I think like nationwide, it's not really that difficult. If you got the real team around you, of course things need to be modified and tweaked from time to time, but it essentially will work out, you know, especially when they see that you adding a lot of value to them. It's going to be beautiful. It's a beautiful situation.
Okay, I see it. And I completely understand where you're going with this. And I'm going through it right now, right? Okay. So in a way, it's like, I wish I could be more efficient.
Okay.
So everything I do today is like figuring out how to be more efficient, faster, and on point.
Yeah.
And at the same time grow, because I have too much in my plate by myself.
Yeah.
Trying to deal with everything. So it's like, okay, cool. I can't post on social media. When we do these episodes, we take 10 clips out of each episode. We have, with this one, I think this is number 19 or 20. I don't know. But do the math. 20 times 10.
Yep.
That's 200 pieces of content that I have just out of this.
Okay.
But it's not posted.
Wow.
And the reason why it's not posted is because I can produce it.
Right.
I got the editor editing it, but I don't have the time to sit down.
Right.
Give me a second, Anthony. We're filming this right now. Let me real quick post this while we're filming a video outside or something, or we're doing a ride along a day. It's like, wait, give me a second.
Yeah.
I feel like that's disrespectful to the client, and I feel like that's disrespectful to the moment. So I'm like, okay, hiring. Yep. Let me hire someone. Yep. Just hire a team of 3 people.
Okay.
To be able to edit.
Mm-hmm.
And because I already have an editor for the podcast, he does the initial edit, everything goes live, right? Then I have these people who are gonna post the content, and whenever there's something and there's batches, I am and I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I want to be modest here, but I'm good at creating content.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. You are.
So since I'm good at creating content, I told them, listen. Whenever you need to fill something in, just let me know. I can sit down in the car. I can sit down anywhere, make a quick video, send it to you, and you guys do a quick edit and post it.
Right.
So let me give you a quick example so you can see.
Okay.
And this is also for you guys. Give me a subject or something that you would like me to talk about. For example, something you would like to hear in my social.
Let's just say cars.
All right. So, hey, everyone. So I know that, everybody gets in a car every day. If you live in Florida, you probably don't have one right now. And I apologize for that. It's not funny. But people that need to buy a car need to make sure they have insurance. And insurance is really important for moments like what happened in Florida. If you don't have car insurance and then you get to an accident in the state of New Jersey, you're very liable for very big situations. So get knowledge, get to know what you got to do, and make sure that you have insurance for your car. So you see how I flipped a car story into a problem, and what is the solution to that problem?
Like an infomercial.
I learned that, right?
Yep.
So my brain is wired to when you give me any piece of content, I can make it.
Yep.
So that's why I was telling my team, I was like, listen, whenever there's a subject and like you feel like you need to add some more context into it, just write me a text and I'll make a video about it.
Absolutely.
That way. And another thing that I've been noticing is the more content that I put, the more I'm on people's faces.
That's true. That's very true.
And the more calls I get.
That's true.
Because as a customer, I remind you that I'm here.
Yep.
And since I'm always constantly reminding you that I'm here, you're saying, oh, maybe I can use Cesar for this.
Yeah.
Or I have this going on. Let me call him. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So,
Absolutely. So, what do you think about the whole social media
my advice now to all the viewers and Anthony
Yeah.
is whenever you want your business to grow in today's day and age, you need content. Make content. He will be will be killing in social media with his business, but you're busy too. I understand. So it's like
I do need to make more content.
Thinking about content is like it's secondhand versus everything you got to handle in a day to day in your business.
Right.
But if you make content, what you do, not even long content, short form content. Yeah. Because I know you get some crazy stuff happening from time to time. Whew. Those storytelling. Yeah. It's done. Yeah. It's done. Yeah. So if you want to build your business, start storytelling, start creating content. Call your next videographer today.
There you go.
Yeah. So Anthony, thank you so much for being here with me today. And like I really appreciate it. And I also appreciate you trusting me with, doing everything and giving me a call.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
And like how we are working on everything, and then I know that we're gonna grow so much stuff, more stuff. Yeah. And you guys, let us know what you think. Is there anything you want to tell friends that are watching this right now?
Yeah. I would say, if you want to learn more, and before I even say anything about learning more, I appreciate you just, for even, trusting me for going out to Ohio and you seeing everything, and being a good friend too. I appreciate that, and for inviting me onto the platform. So
always, and no, I mean, listen. We've been working. I love what you're doing, and I feel like we are in the same like what's it called when you're in your brain wave, and we're connected in a way, right? Yeah. Because we're hustling, and we're working, we're building, and I respect you because you're also trying to help other people grow.
Absolutely.
So, say your last words. We're about to leave.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I was gonna say, man, if you wanna get to learn more about what I do and how I can help you grow or anything like that, then follow me on Facebook at Anthony Lawson, first and last name. And then on Instagram, Anthony_the investor. And then from there, it'll be a drop down of all, link tree about what I do with the fund or mentorship. You can click on it and look forward to seeing you.
Quick question. So wait, is your audience bigger on Facebook than Instagram?
It is actually.
Why is that?
It is. I think I started off with Facebook first. That's what it was. And
okay.
Then I hopped on Instagram.
What is the not demographic, because that's the wrong word, but what is the age group, that's the word I was trying to ask, of most of the people that work with you?
I would say I get a lot of people in the late 20s to all the way up to about 60, I would say.
So that's why Facebook is so key to you, is because that's the age group that is currently on Facebook. By the way, if you don't know that, the age groups are 25 to 35 on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Any younger than that, TikTok.
Yeah, for sure.
And then 35, you have a mixture between Instagram, Facebook, between 35 all the way to 65 plus. Yeah. And then professionals, that's Linktree. Yeah. So if you're trying
LinkedIn. LinkedIn. Oh, and by the way, too, follow me on LinkedIn, Anthony Lawson.
There you go. So if you're trying to, whatever your business is, make sure you're in the right platform before you start bombarding people with content that they're not going to look at.
Absolutely.
So since Anthony's in the group home business, that's more of a mature business. Right? I feel that way. I feel like whoever gets into that business their mind needs to be right.
Absolutely.
Because if you're thinking wrong, this is not going to work for you, because this is a people business.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
So that's why Anthony's in Facebook. So go follow him on Facebook and on Instagram. Thank you so much, Anthony, for being here. I really appreciate you.
Yep.
And
appreciate you, man.
See you later, brother.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot.
Peace.